Realtors of Reddit, what's the most bizarre reason someone decided not to buy a house? Former realtor here, had a couple that wanted to live in a specific neighborhood and wanted a rectangular pool with a small pool house and covered patio. There were exactly 3 houses in the neighborhood that met these requirements. I spoke with all 3 owners, and one said they would sell, and they were generous on their pricing. Why, you ask, did the couple decide not to buy? The house next door was yellow.
I have absolutely no idea what color my neighbor's house is.
Not a realtor, but I worked in finance at an RV dealership a few years back. I had a couple fly in from out of state to look at a brand new 400,000 unit that had specific features they were after, and they put a deposit on it. I got them approved and scheduled a time for them to sign, but they backed out at the last minute because they weren't sure their cat would like it. They flew back home.
My family home was bought by a young man in the military and his very quirky wife. They had already ruled out dozens of houses and settled on ours because it had adequate chi flow from the front door. When they saw that the bed was directly under a window in the bedroom, the wife freaked out and said that it was sucking out our brains.
Yeah, it's bad feng shui. The front door shouldn't line up directly with the back door, shouldn't live at the end of a T-shaped road, something to do with the bed, door, and windows.
When I got my first job offer out of college, I had a week to find a place to live and ended up finding this amazing house. It was in my budget, had a pool, the backyard opened up to a lake and had a small dock, and it was walking distance to work. My mother-in-law didn't think we should get it because it was opposite a T intersection. I don't know about feng shui, but it sure was nice walking out my back door and hopping into a kayak with a beer and my dog every night after work. If it were me, I would have some boulders out front so some drunk person or someone on their phone doesn't blow through the intersection and onto the house. Boulders are great, they kept my wife from hitting the green electrical box at the end of our driveway again. My parents have had vehicles drive into their house twice and did not live at a T intersection. One car actually came into their bedroom, a drunk guy who missed his turn. They were looking to move, and I was scoping houses for them. Anything with a T intersection was. Spent around 2 months looking for a property with a couple. They barely qualified for what they were looking for, so each offer was a battle just to get it reviewed. Finally found a house that had a willing seller, a good listing agent, and it checked all but one box. That box? The guest bathroom had a shower curtain the wife didn't like. Seriously, not a glass door or anything permanent but a removable curtain held up by those bars you twist into place. I even offered to buy them a $200 gift card for Home Depot or Bed Bath & Beyond to help them find something different. Nope, that curtain killed the whole thing for the wife. Needless to say, I fired them as clients immediately after that.
Who would keep someone else's shower curtain anyways?
When we bought our house, the seller left the shower curtain. Whatever, took it down and put mine up. A few months later, I was on Zillow or Realtor.com looking at pictures of our house from previous times it had sold, just for funsies, to see the things that had changed over the course of ownership. Somehow, that same shower curtain went through 3 sales over the course of a goddamn decade. Who the keeps a second-hand shower curtain after moving in somewhere? A nice little petri dish of the previous owner's gunk and soap. I knew someone who didn't buy a house because it had too many closets. Other than that, they thought the house was perfect. After a moment of stunned silence, I suggested they buy the house and close some closet doors and just not use the closets. When I bought my first house, one bedroom was hot pink. Like, blinding pink. I painted it a very light blue but continued to call it the pink room. Eventually, my partner moved in, and he started calling it the pink room. We sold the house after 7 years, still called it the pink room.
My parents' house had a bar in one room when they bought it. They tore it out when they moved in and made it a study. It's still called the bar room 35 years later.
Not a realtor but potential buyer, our realtor brought us to a house listed as a 3BR, 2.5 bath. After going through the house, we liked it a lot, until something clicked for us. There were no bathrooms to be found. We went through the house again, and upon opening a closet door in a bedroom, we found inside the tiny closet a single toilet. No lights, sink, tub, nothing. The house wasn't even a 1 bath, it was like 1/4 bath. The realtor, very seriously, told us if we knocked down the wall, ran some pipes, we could convert one of the bedrooms into the bathroom. We laughed thinking he was joking. He wasn't. We toured an interesting older house, but it obviously had massive asbestos problems. You could see where pipe insulation had been peeled off and piled on the edge of the stone foundation. The siding was made with asbestos fiber. The realtor told us that it would be very expensive to have professionals come in to fix it. However, he said we could do it ourselves because we didn't have to follow the safety guidelines like they would. I don't think he realized how stupid that sounded.
Jesus. We bought a century-old house that the old owners claimed they had done full asbestos removal on. They even signed a form certifying it did not have asbestos, which meant when we were doing work in the basement and we found asbestos in the walls and floors, our homeowner's insurance covered everything and then went after the old homeowners. Fabulous policy.
Stupid, yes, but people do it all the time. The thought process is that pro-remediation is super expensive to do and then you have to pay to dispose of the asbestos properly. People figure, meh, I'll be exposed this one time, not chronically, and I can sneak it out with the other trash and save myself tens of thousands of dollars. I think the high cost really dissuades people from disposing of this stuff in the correct, responsible manner. Found a dead body in the bathroom. Apparently, a contractor working in the house decided to shoot up before he left on Friday and OD'd. Nobody was in the house all weekend, and he was found by Monday afternoon during a showing.
Holy f***.
The first thing that went through my mind was you should ask for a discount. While not very bizarre, it's always strange to me when someone won't buy their dream home because of the address number. Honorable mention, during an open house I was hosting, someone pulled sage out of their pocket and started burning it to get Satan out of the black countertops. Related, I was given my choice of 3 different lots when building my home back in 2016. I picked the one that is my birthday. Street number is 513. Birthday is May 13th. Walked into the house and noticed a crystal hanging from the ceiling. In the kitchen there were more. Kinda strange, but okay. Went upstairs and all of a sudden there were 10 to 15 in the hallway. Then we got to the basement, room in the back corner. Opened the door and turned on the light. Hell's bells, that is when it went to a 10. It was a dungeon. We backed out, looked at the realtor, and she said it before we did, we are never talking about this. Reminds me of a friend's didn't buy story wherein the basement was finished, but was wall-to-wall black and white tile, and up the walls. And there was a huge black trash bag filled with empty VHS covers sitting in the middle. There was a Zillow listing posted on Reddit a while back that had pics of what I guess you might call a sex dungeon. It had a big poster bed with the straps laid out and a couple of other pieces of sex furniture. Looked kinda bougie, and they were clearly marketing it as a feature, as it was all included in the sale. When we were looking at houses in the early 2010s, we went to see what we thought was a really nice house. The listing did not show any pics of the finished basement. We toured the upstairs and were very happy. Then we went downstairs. The stucco on the walls was the hard icing kind, which had been pulled outwards into sharp points so that, if you had fallen down the stairs, you would have impaled yourself. There was a wet bar made of thousands of pieces of tacky cowboy kitsch that had padded faux leather, with buttons, on the 3 surrounding walls. Everything was glued/screwed/nailed to the wall, including the animal heads, and was listed as included with the sale. It smelled odd. There was a giant shrine to Mary with a water feature, and a ton of plants, embedded in a divider wall. It took up the whole wall and we couldn't figure out how they had run the water supply. There was a bathroom off the wet bar. It was purple. The walls were purple. The floors were purple. All of the porcelain was purple and had Russian oligarch-style gold fittings. It matched nicely with the all-teal master bedroom and soot. After about 10 minutes of looking at this, our realtor glanced at us, said, "This is too bizarre," and suggested we leave. The house was still on the market a year later. We did a similar tour with a wildly different basement deal breaker. The main floor and kitchen had just been remodeled. Upstairs was fine. Opened the finished basement door around the 4 locks, and got hit by the smell. A mix of mold and animal pee. Realtor said, well, they had a dog. Walls were covered with scratch marks and crayon scribbles. The carpet was caked with black dirt. A dirty, poorly wired and vented kitchenette with appliances circa 1970 was crammed into a closet, and the area under the stairs was the smallest, jankiest bathroom I'd ever seen. Everything was so dirty. Our realtor just said, Jesus Christ. This wasn't in any of the listing photos. This is like a horror movie. We have to get out of here. The house was on the market for a year before I stopped checking. I think they were renting out the basement. It had a separate entrance. We ended up putting an offer on another place. It was accepted, and we did an inspection. But then the sale fell through because the owners didn't disclose to their realtor that they were in bankruptcy. Their bankruptcy attorney wouldn't approve the sale unless we paid $17K more, and we were already at the top of our budget, and that was $15K over anything else in the neighborhood. The house burned completely to the ground 6 months later, so I guess we dodged a bullet. I'm not saying it was an insurance fraud thing because the inspection found some ceiling fans wired backward, but I'm not saying that either. And well, friends, that was all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, let me know with a thumbs up so that YouTube can share these stories with more people. Remember to hit the bell icon to be the first to know when we upload a new video. See you next time.